Right now, the Danish Central Bank is not intervening at all in foreign exchange market, and we expect the Danish Central Bank to just stay where they are.
So Jacob, summer of 2016, the headlines have been dominated by the talks of a Brexit, and today we'll be discussing not the consequence on the UK economy, but on the Danish economy. So can you talk us through any potential impact this could have?
Well, so far we have had a few business and consumer surveys from Denmark over the last few months, and they have been relatively stable, indicating that at least so far the Brexit will not have has not had any significant impact on the Danish economy. But of course, it's still early days. It might be that, especially if the broader European economy will be affected by the Brexit, of course that will also be significant to the Danish economy. But at least so far, the broader European economy seems to have taken the Brexit pretty well, and that's also the case for the Danish economy.
Great. And now taking a look at currencies. So following Brexit, the pound hasn't fared very well and it is significantly slumped, and the euro then has gained on the back of this. But let's talk about the Danish Krone. So how has this been impacted by the Brexit? Has it been impacted at all? And was it a positive impact?
Well, we had in the months before the Brexit, that is in the early summer and in the spring, we had a pretty strong Danish krone. The Danish krone is pegged to the euro, and the Danish Central Bank had to intervene and go into the foreign exchange market to sell Danish krone to keep it stable versus the euro in the weeks and the months leading up to the Brexit vote. After the vote, at least in the few days after the vote, we believe that the Danish Central Bank still intervened pretty heavily and to keep the Danish krone from strengthening. But that was only for a very short while, and we have seen during July and probably also during August that the Danish Central Bank has not intervened at all, and the Danish krone has actually weakened a bit again. So at the moment, it looks as if this impact on the Danish krone from the uncertainty around the Brexit was very, very short-lived, and for the moment it looks as if it doesn't have any real impact on the Danish krone at all.
And let's focus a little bit more. You mentioned movements from the Danish Central Bank there, and in the future, what kind of movements are you predicting from the Central Bank? Are you expecting them to act further?
Well, first of all, the Danish Central Bank is more or less just copying what the European Central Bank is doing. But we have seen a few incidences where the Danish Central Bank have acted independently. Back in the beginning of 2015, after the Swiss Central Bank abandoned their peg to the euro, the Danish Central Bank had to cut Danish interest rates heavily. And some people expected that also to happen around the Brexit vote, because the Danish krone was strengthening versus the euro. But as it looks right now, the Danish Central Bank is not intervening at all in foreign exchange market, and we expect the Danish Central Bank to just stay where they are. That is a deposit rate in Denmark at minus 0.65%. And we expect that to continue. If, however, the European Central Bank decides to cut interest rates in the Eurozone, the Danish Central Bank is highly likely to copy that rate cut.
Well, Jacob, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your insights with us.
Welcome.
That's all for myself and Jacob, but if you did like this interview, then Dukascopy TV have plenty more on all the latest market moves.